In this video, we're going to look at problems involving quadratic equations. So here we've got a compound shape, and the area of this compound shape is 85 centimeters squared. And what we need to do is derive this quadratic equation of 9x squared minus 17x minus 85 equals to 0. So what we're going to do for a question like this is do exactly what we do in any area of compound shape question. Is we're going to split this compound shape into two separate rectangles. So what I have is a rectangle here and another rectangle here. So the area of the first rectangle is going to be 3x times 2x minus 7. Now 3x times 2x will give me 6x squared. 3x times minus 7 is minus 21x. Then for the second rectangle, we're going to do x times 3x plus 4. Now that's going to give me 3x squared. X times 4 is 4x. So now we can add the two together. 6x squared minus 21x plus 3x squared plus 4x. That will give me 6x squared plus 3x squared is 9x squared. And we're going to get minus 21x plus 4x, which will give me minus 17x. Now I know that all of this is equal to an area of 85 centimeters squared. So we're going to make that equal to 85. And we know that all quadratic equations must be equal to 0. So I'm going to minus 85 on both sides of the equation here. And then we get our desired results, which is therefore we end up with 9x squared minus 17x minus 85 equals to 0. The next part says to solve this quadratic, but notice quite subtly it's stated give your solutions correct to three significant figures. So they're implying that you have to use the quadratic formula. Okay, so this cannot be factorized. Okay, so it's not a factorizable quadratic. So what we're going to do is write down the quadratic formula, minus b plus or minus the square roots of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. This is the quadratic formula. Now we can write down our coefficients. A is 9, that's the value in front of x squared. B, be careful, is minus 17. C is minus 85. So we've got our coefficients of A, B and C, and we can substitute these into our quadratic formula. So now I'm going to substitute the values into the quadratic formula. So we've got x equals, now be careful, it's minus of minus 17, which is positive 17, plus or minus the square root. Now you must use brackets here. Minus 17 squared minus 4 times 9 times minus 85, which is the value of c, all divided by 2 times 9. So then we can write our solutions out. Get our calculator. Let's type this in. So on our calculator, we can press the fraction button. 17, I'm going to start with the minus first. Square root of minus 17 all squared minus 4 times 9 times minus 85 over 2 bracket 9. So we get minus 2.27. So minus 2.27. Don't forget this is an invalid result because you can't get a negative length. Go back to my calculator. Change this first minus to a plus, like so. And I get 4.159. So I'm going to call that 4.16. So 4.159 and so on. So we want it to 3 significant figures, so we get 4.16. And I'm going to write to 3 significant figures. Now the last part of the question says work out the length of the shortest side of the 6-sided shape. So here we've got to be careful. We got a value of 4.159 and so on. So we need to be very careful when you work out the value. So what I'm going to do is first substitute the value in here. 2 times 4.159 and so on, minus 7. So I can do that from my calculator and just say that to bracket the answer minus 7. Now that will give me 1.3189. So I get 1.3189 and so on. Now if I notice that I know that this value is already 4.16. Now here I'm going to use a bit of common sense. 3x is 3 times that value. 3x plus 4 is going to be greater than, obviously, 4.16. So surely the smallest side I'm going to have is going to be 2x minus 7, or 1.32, if I was to round that to 3 significant figures. So that would be the smallest length of the compound shape. So that would give me 1.32 centimeters as my answer. Here's a question for you to try. You can pause the video, and when you're done, I will go through my work solution. Okay, welcome back. So here we've got a trapezium. So the first thing I'm going to do is to label the sides. So the first parallel side here is going to be called A, the opposite parallel side is B, and the perpendicular height is known as H. Now we know that the formula for the area of a trapezium is half times A plus B times the height. They tell us that the area of the trapezium is 36 centimeters squared, and we need to show that we get the following quadratic: x squared minus x minus 56 equals to 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute those values in. So I'm going to say a half times, now A is x plus 2, B is x plus 6, so I'm going to write plus x plus 6 here, multiplied by the height of x minus 5, like so. So that will give me a half times, that will give me 2x plus 8, and then I get x minus 5. Now I'm going to halve all of 2x plus 8 because everything's being multiplied. So I get x plus 4 times x minus 5. Then I'm going to expand the brackets here. X times x is x squared. X times minus 5 is minus 5x. Positive 4 times x is plus 4x. And 4 times minus 5 is minus 20. Hence we get x squared minus 1x minus 20. Now this is the area of the trapezium algebraically. We need to make this equal to 36. So I'm going to say this is equal to 36. And we need to show that we get the following quadratic: x squared minus x minus 56. Don't forget, all quadratics need to be equal to 0. So I'm going to minus 36 on both sides, like so. And then I'm going to get x squared minus 1x minus 56 equals to 0. So that's the quadratic they want us to show. The next part says to solve the quadratic equation. So we know how to do this. The minus at the end means different signs, so we've got different signs here. So 2 brackets, one's a plus, one's a minus. Now we know that 7 times 8 makes 56. We want minus 1. and that minus must go on the bigger number, so minus 8 plus 7. So we get plus 7 and we get minus 8 here. It's equal to 0. We make both brackets equal to 0, so x plus 7 equals 0, or x minus 8 equals 0. Solve the equation, minus 7 on both sides. So we get x equals to minus 7, but don't forget it's a length, so this is invalid. You can't get a negative length. Now we're going to add 8 on both sides. So we're going to get x equals to positive 8, so or x equals 8. So we get x equals minus 7 or x equals 8. So don't forget, we must choose x equals 8 because we're talking about the length of a rectangle here. Then the last part says, find the shortest side of the trapezium. So if we look, we can tell that the shortest side is going to be x minus 5. And if we look at our value, we've got 8, so we're going to say x minus 5 is the shortest side. 8 minus 5, and that gives me 3 centimeters.